I am an old enamel kettle, chipped and weathered, perched on the same gas burner for nearly a decade. My once vibrant blue paint has faded to a dull gray. My handle wobbles precariously, but I still whistle. Oh, how I whistle. For years, I've watched James Morgan make tea every morning at precisely 6:15. Black tea, 1 sugar, a splash of milk. He drinks it standing by the window, gazing at the empty street, while his daughter Lily eats cereal in silence. The house feels hollow, like a cathedral after everyone has left. James's wife died 3 years ago. I remember that day. I sat cold on the stove, forgotten. Since then, I've been James's silent companion during those quiet morning moments when he thinks no one sees him breaking apart. Tonight is different. Rain hammers against the kitchen window, and James paces nervously. Lily, 12 and withdrawn, sits at the table with homework she's barely touching. The doorbell rings. James opens it to reveal a social worker and 2 small girls, twins, perhaps 7 years old, with matching braids and wary eyes. They clutch identical worn backpacks. "This is Emma and Olivia," the social worker explains. "Emergency placement. Their foster family situation deteriorated. They need somewhere safe tonight." I watch James's face crumble and rebuild itself in seconds. He's barely keeping his own family afloat, but he steps aside. "Come in." The twins enter cautiously, leaving puddles on the linoleum. Lily looks up, suspicious and territorial. "I'll make tea," James says, because that's what he always does when the world feels too heavy. He fills me with water, and I feel the familiar weight. As I heat up, I listen to the awkward introductions. The twins don't speak. Lily asks pointed questions that James deflects. When I whistle, James pours 4 cups. The twins wrap their small hands around their mugs like they're holding something precious. The first week is difficult. Lily resents sharing her space. The twins remain silent, communicating only with each other through glances. James works double shifts to afford 2 more mouths to feed, coming home exhausted. I become their silent mediator. Every evening, James makes tea, and they gather around the kitchen table. Slowly, the twins begin to speak, first in whispers to each other, then in soft responses to James's gentle questions. They tell him about their mother who died, about foster homes where they were just paperwork, about learning to keep their belongings in backpacks, because you never know when you'll have to leave. Lily's hostility melts first. One night, she finds Emma crying over a math worksheet and quietly helps her. James notices Olivia's interest in the dusty piano in the corner, untouched since his wife's death, and suggests Lily might teach her the basics. I witness their transformation through countless cups of tea. The twins learn to laugh at Lily's dry humor. Lily teaches them to braid hair differently. James helps with homework, his patience infinite. But the real miracle happens on a Thursday evening in November. James has been laid off, and the bills are piling up. He sits at the table, head in his hands, while I sit cold on the stove. He's too defeated to even make tea. Emma appears in the doorway. Without a word, she fills me with water and sets me on the burner. As I heat up, she moves around the kitchen with quiet efficiency, preparing 4 cups, adding sugar to James's, honey to Olivia's, lemon to Lily's. She's learned everyone's preferences. When I whistle, she pours the tea and sits beside James. "We saw a sign at school," she says softly. "They need people for the winter concert. They said anyone can try." "That's nice," James says absently. "Olivia and I used to sing, before everything happened." James looks up, truly seeing her. "You did?" Olivia nods from the doorway. "Our mom taught us. She said we had perfect harmony." That night, after the girls are asleep, James opens the piano bench and pulls out sheet music his wife had written. Songs never finished, melodies abandoned. He runs his fingers over the notes. then quietly closes the lid. The next day, he asks the twins if they'd like to try singing again. They exchange a look, then nod simultaneously. Lily rolls her eyes but sits at the piano anyway. Her fingers are stiff at first, unpracticed, but muscle memory guides her through simple chords. The twins stand side by side, shoulders touching. When they begin to sing, James freezes. Their voices blend perfectly, one slightly higher, one deeper, creating harmonies that seem impossible from children so young. Lily stumbles on the keys, then finds her rhythm. James watches, transfixed, as something awakens in his daughter, a spark he thought had died with her mother. They practice every evening after dinner. I whistle along from my place on the stove, providing tea during breaks. The house fills with sound again, imperfect, sometimes discordant, but alive. The night of the concert arrives. Snow falls gently outside as James helps the twins into matching blue dresses Lily found in her closet. "Mom's favorite color," she explains, adjusting a ribbon. The school auditorium is crowded with parents clutching programs and phones. James sits nervously in the third row, hands clasped tightly. When the twins walk on stage, they look so small under the bright lights. The piano introduction begins, and for a terrible moment, they stand frozen. Then Emma reaches for Olivia's hand, and they begin to sing. Their voices rise clear and true, filling the room with a lullaby their mother taught them. The audience falls silent. A woman in the front row wipes her eyes. The principal, who had reluctantly allowed these last-minute additions to the program, stands straighter. When they finish, the applause isn't just polite, it's thunderous. James finds himself on his feet, cheeks wet with tears he didn't realize he was shedding. Backstage, the music teacher approaches. "Those girls have extraordinary talent," she says, "with proper training." She hands James a card. The community music school offers scholarships. That night, as James makes celebratory hot chocolate, I watch the family gather at the table. Lily sits closer to the twins than usual. "You weren't terrible," she says, which from her is high praise. "Maybe you could teach us more piano," Olivia suggests cautiously. Lily shrugs. "Maybe." James looks around at these three girls, one his by birth, two his by choice. And something shifts in his expression. For the first time in years, he looks forward rather than back. Months pass. The twins join the community choir. Lily starts piano lessons again. James finds a new job teaching music at the elementary school, something he'd trained for but abandoned after college. The house transforms. Sheet music covers the refrigerator. The piano stays open. Backpacks are unpacked. Clothes hang in closets. And the twins stop checking the front door whenever a car drives by. One evening, as James makes tea, Emma asks, "Are we staying forever?" The kitchen falls silent. James sets me down carefully on the burner. "Do you want to?" The twins exchange a look. "Yes," they say in unison. "Then yes," James answers. "Forever." Lily rolls her eyes, but smiles. "Great. More people stealing my stuff." That night, after everyone is asleep, James sits at the kitchen table with adoption paperwork spread before him. He fills me with water and waits for my whistle. As steam rises, he signs his name on the dotted line. I am just an old kettle, chipped and worn, but I've witnessed something remarkable. How a broken family rebuilt itself, note by note, cup by cup. How grief transformed into something new, not by disappearing, but by making room for joy alongside it. And sometimes, the most beautiful music comes from the most unexpected places. All you need to do is listen.